it really is kind of history repeating itself, isn't it? 30 years ago this week, Oasis released their debut album, Definitely Maybe, and it went on to sell, get this, 15 million copies. And then 2 years later, in 1996, 2.5 million people applied to watch Oasis across 2 nights at Knebworth Park near Stevenage in Hertfordshire. And remember, we're talking back then in 96, in less than 24 hours, 250,000 tickets costing £22.50 each had been sold out. And that gig became one of the biggest in the UK, the biggest the UK had ever seen, and has to be considered, let's be honest, probably Britpop's crowning moment. Now, one of the bands on the bill that weekend was Cast. John Power from Cast is on the line. John, good morning, and thank you for joining me this Saturday morning.
Yeah, all right, good morning, Andy, yeah.
So, first things first, John, are you sitting waiting for the phone to ring because you never know?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I'd like to think our name's in the hat, but you know, as a person once said, lyric was like, you know, don't put your dreams in the hands of a rock and roll band, you know. So that's one of those words. You know what? It's funny because normally, you know, I would never even be talking about an Oasis reunion. It was kind of more like a taboo subject for me, who kind of knows Liam and knows Noel. But now that it's happened, it's kind of, you know, and it's okay to kind of say it's quite an exciting event. I found myself kind of daydreaming and rolling over with earworms of songs from that era, kind of like. So, yeah, I mean...
Have you put yourself in the queue, though?
I'll tell you what, it would be great to be involved. But, you know, I mean, as I said... You just get on with doing your thing. We just done the Definitely Maybe 30th anniversary tour with Liam, right, which was amazing, and you know, singing all them songs off the debut album. So yeah, I mean, I didn't know it was happening. I don't think anyone did. I mean, I didn't get any kind of vibe from Liam, but standing there every night after we performed, watching, like, you know, Liam get into cigarettes and alcohol, singing that, and the crowd going mad. I was very tempted to give, like, Noel a text and say, like, you know what, man, these songs mean so much to people. But here you go. They've reformed out the blue.
I know, and it's really exciting, and it's galvanised the nation in a funny sort of way. We're all doing it. I'm in the queue right now. I'm the 200th. 625th person that will be able to get tickets maybe before midnight tonight. Can you think back to when you got that call all those years ago from, I suppose, from the boys, from their management, from your management, to say you are going to be supporting Oasis? Can you remember that moment?
Yeah, I can, because I mean, we obviously crossed paths. We'd been on the Irvine Beach shows, Loch Lomond shows and things like that, but we were in the studio around that time. We were recording Flying, and I remember getting the call, and it was just you know, you're doing that show. That was amazing. But leading up to the show, there was a sound check. It must have been a couple of days before, and I was in the studio locally, and I was recording Flying, and I just remember pulling up on site, and there was Noel. He jumped into the car with me, and I played him the new song, Flying, and we had a little chat like that, you know. And this was just leading up to it, and you could feel, you know, I mean, there was a lot of big shows around that time, but this was something special, and I don't think people realised how special it was until it had passed, like you said earlier, was it the crown and glory of Britpop, you know. You know, all the goodwill, all the great music, all the vibes, and all the people getting behind everything, all kind of led up to this monumental, massive show. And where does it go after that? Right. It's only with hindsight that you kind of look and think, well, there's nowhere else for something to go once it hits, you know, that sheer scale. But it was very, you know, we were all excited. I mean, you got to remember that the times were turning. Everybody was writing music. Everyone was performing. We'd probably had a tour after that, and same with Oasis. But everybody knew that this was something very, very special, but not realising how special it was going to be, you know.
Yeah. Now, you guys as Cast continue to tour. You're touring at the moment, aren't you?
Yeah, we are. We've just finished all the summer shows. We've just played with Liam on his 30th anniversary, Definitely Maybe. We've got a tour in October, November, which we're going to be out, and that continues, you know. I mean, I'm doing a kind of intimate Q&A sit-down thing, a bit like this, really, conversation interspersed with songs in early next year, March or something like that. So we just keep doing it. We had a new album out, Love Is The Call. But you never start, I'm sitting here talking to you. I've actually got my guitar on my lap. It's like...
Oh, feel free. Anything you want. Put the phone to one side. I'm quite happy to have a quick acoustic something or another.
What I'm trying to say is nothing really changes, apart from time just passing by. And, you're talking about the Oasis reunion. It's, I'm kind of like a seasoned performer, being in the Lars and cast. And, we've played some massive shows with massive bands and ourselves. But there is an excitement that I'm picking up, when I'm walking past down the road, walking the dog, whatever. You can see, I can see people talking, and you overhear them in the bar. This Oasis reunion has galvanised quite a few people. It's certainly given a certain vibe and lift to something. It's exciting, and for me to be slightly excited, and I'm part of it, I guess. I'm part of that whole movement. Yeah. So, I can imagine what people on the street or who really, really followed Oasis got all the albums, or never even seen the band. They'll be freaking out, Yeah,
it's going to be outstanding. You're touring, Cast are touring in October, as you said. I just want to ask you very quickly. You talked about you've got your own this sort of spoken word and acoustic tour, which I've never known somebody to do something like this. What was the idea behind that? Because to me, that will be really. It must be quite intimate as well.
Yeah, it is. I'll be honest with you. I haven't done it. I haven't done a tour like this before. Somebody got in touch. Obviously, listen to me rambling on. I only need to ask the question. And I think it's more to do with, it's like my time in the Lars, my time in Cast, in between, and just general, just sort of... I'm kind of looking forward to it because it won't be just like I've got a set list and I'll be playing the songs, straight through, and that's the show. See you, folks, you know what I mean? This will be like... it'll meander through the musical journey, and it will probably be different each night, and maybe quite cathartic, because I don't know what I'm going to be talking about. I'll maybe have some set pointers. But yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it, really. It's quite a novel thing for myself, too.
Okay, well, look, it sounds fantastic. You're obviously still very busy. Final question. If you don't get the call in 2024/2025 to support them, will you do your best to go and see them?
Yeah, I think that's how I'll be doing. I'll definitely get down to one of the nights, because, I'd like to see it myself and be involved. I love the songs as well. They were, they were the sound backdrop to our lives as well. So, and plus, I genuinely think it'll be something special seeing, Noel and Liam, and Bonehead's going to be involved, I hope, and it'll be great to see Liam and Noel, play them songs, because it's part of kind of our kind of generational history.
Yeah,
now,
it really is. All we need now is you need Liam and Noel on stage and William and Harry in the audience together. The world will all be right.
Well, if you're a royalist, then yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, look, John, it's been a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much.